Hey guys, Kyle Cordiana here, FLW Tour Angler. Listen, something big changed in FLW this year. On July 12th, 2018, FLW announced that there will no longer be co-anglers on the FLW Tour level. Now, I get asked a lot of questions about that, what the rules are, what my opinion of that rule change is, and I just kind of want to make a little video and touch base on that. First, I want to point out that FLW still offers more money and more payouts for co-anglers. Between the BFLs and the co-anglers, they pay out $3.9 million in earnings and winnings as a co-angler. So although FLW is pulling back the co-anglers out of the tour, there's still more opportunities as a co-angler fishing FLW than any other division out there. So keep that in mind, guys. And as we go through these rule changes and why I think they're implemented and why there could be the pros and cons of it, right? So they're replacing the co-angler program with a Marshal program. What is the Marshal program? Okay, the Marshal program, to the best of my knowledge and the best of the research I've done, it's going to be $100 for a Marshal to get in. That's going to get you the first 2 days of the tour event. That's a Thursday and Friday. That gets you into the event. You'll be marshaling Thursday and Friday. You will randomly be paired with a pro each day. You won't. I don't think you'll get the same pro each day, but you'll randomly get paired with a pro on Thursday. You'll randomly get paired with a pro on Friday. The combined weight of your two pros for Thursday and Friday, however you rank against the other marshals, determines who wins. But the winner of that is going to get $2,500 cash just for participating as a marshal and getting lucky enough to draw the two guys that have the two most combined weight, you know, and then you'll win. The other thing is every day you complete as a marshal, you get an entry. At the end of the season, they're going to draw one name to win a brand new Ranger Z518C with a 200 horsepower outboard. Could be a Mercury or an Evergreen. I think you'll get to choose. So that's really awesome. Again, it's just $100 to get in. I don't think they've nailed down who's going to get to Marshal on the Saturday and Sunday, the championship Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure. That may be a random draw thing. I'm not sure if there's additional entry for that, but each day you complete, you get another entry. So if you're there the weekend, you might as well go ahead and be a marshal, or at least put your name in the hopper to be a marshal on the final days. Another cool thing with the Marshal program is the Wednesday night before the event, marshals are going to attend a VIP dinner with select tour pros, getting to hang out with them, eat dinner with them. They're going to get exclusive FLW clothing. Another cool thing FLW is doing. The co-anglers are very important, right? Co-anglers have been very important. I was a co-angler, and it's what got me going. But again, I was a co-angler fishing lower level division stuff, BFL level division stuff. I never did be a co-angler at the FLW Tour. I've made a lot of friends when I was a co-angler that are still friends now. I made a lot of friends that were my co-anglers that I'm still friends with now. So I love the program. I don't think that takes away from the possibility of meeting new people through the Marshal program. Same deal, you're fishing with them all day long. In my opinion, if you're coming there as a co-angler to learn, then being a marshal, you're actually just eyes on the whole time if you're really trying to learn. To me, you can take more in as a marshal as opposed when you're back there getting your own groove on, trying to catch your own fish, retying, getting hung up, backlashes and stuff. I think you can focus more that way. So on top of the Marshal program, right, which is a great program, you get in there for $100, you get to possibly win $2,500. You get a chance to put your name in the hopper multiple times throughout the season to draw to get a brand new Z518C Ranger with a 200 horse on it. Awesome program. Here's the other thing that I think is really cool about this Marshal program. So in my opinion, where FLW, I don't want to say is lacking, but where they could do better, where they could improve their social media outreach, their live feeds during their events, their live updates, their bass track capabilities, right? On Thursday and Friday of the event, it's very hard for someone outside of it's very hard for anybody to know what's going on, who's catching what. And that's something that I think a lot of viewers will tune in to watch, they'll tune in to see, and those marshals are going to have the capability and they're going to be a critical component to updating the live feeds. They're going to have their phones, they might have iPads or whatever you will, but they'll be able to take live on the water photos, live on the water videos, update the studio so that FLW can update their website and so on and so forth, and it becomes much more interactive for the people who want to watch from home or at work. And so that's just going to be great for FLW. It's going to be great for spectators and across the board. I think you're going to see a tremendous growth there and a tremendous draw into the sport via FLW. So I think that's awesome. Like I said, the live score tracker, you'll be able to track your fantasy picks or just your favorite angler every day, not just on the day that there's live weights on the bottom when they do the live, and they'll still do the FLW live, I'm sure. I do want to talk about why would you take co-anglers away from the FLW Tour, right? Obviously, the Marshal program is great. Getting the live coverage is going to be great. But there's a lot of guys that have always fished as a co-angler and have fished a lot of tour events that are upset about this. And I just want to point out a few things that might make it reasonable. So I know this can be a little touchy, so don't get mad or anything, but feel free to write any comments, ask any questions about this. But with a co-angler, you're taking person A, which is, we'll call him the pro at the front, and we got person B, who is the pro at the back. These are two complete random strangers many times. They get put into a boat together that have to work together somewhat as a team. You've got a netman, a fisherman. Both can be very competitive. Both are going to have totally different personalities. These personalities don't always do something other than clash. I mean, it's not everybody gets along with everybody else. So on the chance that, let's say I draw a co-angler that hates me, or maybe I don't like him, maybe we totally disagree on everything going on that day, that's going to affect me negatively, it's going to affect him negatively, and it puts an unfair disadvantage on me and him against the other competitors. So when you're talking about fishing at a tour level and the stakes that are on the line, a lot of these anglers out here, this is their only source of income. Put tons of money down to try to make a living chasing a dream, most likely, but trying to catch fish. And so FLW is doing their best to try to take out any unfair disadvantage or advantage from the sport of fishing at that level. If the guy in the back of the boat, if the co-angler knocks a fish off with the net, well, whose fault's that, right? I mean, maybe it's nobody's fault, but if you take away the co-angler, then all the blame's off, right? There's no responsibility put elsewhere. All the responsibility falls on the angler. And at that level, competing for that much money, potentially just competing to put food on the table, you should take out any factor that could be considered an unfair disadvantage or an unfair advantage. You run into guys that have bad fishing etiquette, and maybe they don't even realize it. Maybe they're so youthful in the sport and so young and getting into tournaments, they don't realize they have bad etiquette. They're casting over your line, and although you tell them, they may still do it again. The other thing I've seen is, you flip in to catch a fish and it bites it and you jerk and maybe you miss the fish completely and it takes your creature bait. You're back in the box and you don't think to say it because you think it's understood, but you're back in the box to get another bait and the co-angler flips in there, catches your fish. There's nothing you can do about it at that point. You're going to get frustrated, your wheels might spin out of control, and you may not fish very good for the next little bit because that fish is in his box and it's not getting it back. Same thing, we look so hard for fish in practice. If we find some fish offshore, and let's say it's a group of 20 to 30 bass, okay, maybe we don't know it's that, but that's what it ends up being. You go there on day one, and your plan is to catch 5, 6, 7 of those fish, hopefully you got a decent stringer, and you're going to leave them. Well, if it takes you a considerable amount of time to catch that, your co-angler's likely going to catch several of those fish as well. And where that school of fish might have held up for 2, 3, 4 days, they're likely not going to now because your co-angler's impacted that. And so again, things like that, taking those factors out of play, that now it's all on the pro, it's all on the guy in the front of the boat, it's his net job, it's his job finding the fish, it's his job catching. Those are just some of the reasons, guys, that I think FLW decided to take co-anglers out of the equation at the FLW Tour level. Again, we're just trying to make it as fair as possible for these guys, myself included, that are putting so much on the line to make a living doing this. And so I support FLW in taking co-anglers out of the tour level. I love the fact that they still give more to co-anglers at all other levels. They give more opportunities, more money, more payouts, more prizes than any other tournament organization. So I hope you guys can get on board with that. I look forward to the Marshal program. I look forward to having a Marshal on my boat every day and making friends with them and trying to catch a big stringer so that Marshal has a chance to win $2,500 at the end of it all. So that's it. There was another rule change. They went from a priority entry system to a qualifying system. A priority entry system was a little bit confusing. They had you had to be signed up on a particular day depending on what you qualified for. The top 100 pros and the top 10 guys from each Costa division. You had to be on December 4th, and then we had FLW sponsors December 5th. We had Tour Pros and Coaster Pros that fell outside of the top 100 or top 10, and then they could get in on December 6th. Then the Bass Federation, and the All-American got December 7th, and then all others were December 8th, and it just ballooned into 186 anglers this last year. And FLW's going back to a pure qualifying system. If you're not this, or this, you're not in. There's no this day you can try, this day you can try, this day you can try. So they're going to go down to 150 anglers. There's going to be a transition period. Next year's 2019. So we went from 186 anglers in 2018. 2019, you're probably going to see something in the middle between 150 and 186. Are going to slowly transition. And then once they get to that point in 2020, it's going to be strict 150 anglers, and this is how you're going to get them, guys. You're going to get the top 100 FLW pros at the end of the year based on the Angler of the Year points. Those top 100 get in, so there's 100 right there. Then you're going to take the top 5 Costa pros from each division. So you have 5 divisions with 5 top Costa pros. That's 25. So we had 100 plus 25. There's 125 guys. Then we're going to take the Bass Federation champion and the All-American champion. Now we're up to 127 anglers. Then we're going to take the 8 FLW sponsor entries. So FLW is going to keep sponsor entries for Mercury, Ranger, Lowrance, whoever their sponsors are. They're going to allow those sponsors to get in entries. They're going to have 8 of those. So that takes us to 135 anglers. Then they're going to have 2 FLW Foundation entries. These are the guys, I believe, like Cody Kelly, who put on the Fishing for Kids every single weekend of every event. It's an awesome deal. You got to keep those guys around that know how to run those programs. So now we're up to 137 anglers. And then the last 13 entries are going to be at-large entries. Right? So the at-large entries are going to be Ranger boat owners who fished the previous tour year, or all other FLW Tour pros who fished the previous year. So once they go down this list, if they haven't hit 150, they're going to basically go back to the FLW Tour list, the guys that finished 101st, 102nd, 103rd, and they're going to go down that list until they hit 150, and that's done. Nobody else is getting in. So I really like that. You're either going to earn your spot back or you're not going to make it back. So that's it, guys. Those are the recaps of the tour change. A little bit of my opinion about them. Feel free to ask me any questions. Post. Tell me you like my reasoning or you hate my reasoning or whatnot. But I look forward to 2019, and I'll see more of you guys then. Later.